All right, looks like we are at 14 responses. Everybody's done. Let's come back together. Thanks for taking the time to fill that in. That'll be helpful information for me. What I'd like to do now is go around and I'll just pick you as I see you on my screen, just to share your area of interest in science. Want to get a feel for what people are feeling good about. My last class, biology, evolution, and well, it was kind of a mix, honestly. There wasn't really anything that everyone was choosing the same thing. But Abby, what's your area of interest?
I really enjoy like human sciences, if that's genetics or, stuff like that, just like surrounding humans. I really enjoy learning that kind of stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I'm actually teaching a human anatomy and physiology course for the first time this year. So you should consider that as a single semester course next year. Bianca.
I like environmental science.
Yes, people like you are going to save the world. You should think about taking APS, Mr. McCormick. It's a great course. Nathan, how about you?
I like things kind of like psychology and how people think and what makes how like life events or things that happen to people make them think differently. Just noticing those patterns in people's
Nice.
mind and what causes that.
Yeah, Dr. Griffiths is teaching a course called Brains and Behavior. Definitely something you should look into taking next year for science. August.
I kind of like chemistry. It's cool just to put stuff together and see what happens.
Yeah, one of the pure sciences. You'll be excited in our spring semesters where we're going to dive into quite a bit of chemistry. So,
Cool.
Joseph.
Genes, like specifically GMOs.
Nice. At first I thought you meant genes like the pants, but I assume you mean genetics and the study of genes. Yeah, that's really cool. Talk about an area of science that's advancing. Thomas, how about you?
Kind of like genetics and like human evolution and how some species went down different paths and stuff like that.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. A lot of people think evolution has stopped, but it really hasn't. It's been really interesting seeing studies about persistence of like lactase, like how we're still able to digest milk now even after we're infants, which we're not normally supposed to be doing. So because we consume so many dairy products now, it's kind of interesting. Harmony.
Mine's kind of the same as Abby's, just kind of like all around anatomy, biology, physiology.
Nice. Yeah, fascinating stuff. Clarence?
I said chemistry, but I'm changing my answer to psychology definitely, and probably a lot of anatomy incorporated in that.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of brain stuff in particular. Yeah, it's still ongoing. There's a lot of mysteries around that. Jake?
Well, I like biology a lot, and more specifically like marine biology, just because like that's something that I've always kind of grown up with around like me, and so I really enjoy that.
Yeah, being where we are, it's a good thing to be interested in. Do you scuba dive or snorkel at all?
Well, not really as much as I used to, but I kind of do a bit of both.
Well, you got plenty of time to learn about all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's a good way to get in the ocean. Valen?
I like mechanical engineering, like machines and stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah, last year we did a big Rube Goldberg project where everyone had to make these like elaborate machines to accomplish certain tasks, and ended up being a lot more fun. I'm kind of intimidated by physics stuff, but yeah, it was great to learn about. That's really cool. Harrison?
I like astronomy, even though I know it's not taught as much compared to other types of science.
Yeah, well, that's what we're starting off with. And yeah, again, an area that I really didn't know much about, and it's actually pretty fascinating to learn all about this stuff. So that's great. Hunter? Oh, sorry, no, sorry, there's no Hunter here. Ryder, my bad, Ryder. Sorry, I'm getting names down, I'm getting there.
I said marine biology, especially because it's really interesting, especially because of where we live.
Yep, yeah, that's definitely an area I spent a lot of time doing marine biology stuff in college too. It's really cool. Sloan?
Psychology.
More behavior stuff. Summer?
Psychology.
Cool. No, interesting. You guys kind of have more curious about behavioral stuff. So anybody I missed? Great. All right. Well, I will do my best to try to touch on each of those areas, and good to know about all the psychology interests. We'll have to we can get some behavior stuff squeezed into our human unit or something. I might have to look into that. So, or else there's definitely courses you can take your junior year that'll be relevant to that. So, all right, I want to take some time now just to play a kind of a quick, silly Zoom game. It's called Split Decision. Anyone ever heard of this or played this before? It's pretty simple. All I'm going to do is ask you a yes or no question. I'm going to ask it to the entire class. But before you answer yes or no, we'll do that in the second phase. The first phase is all about predicting how you think the entire class is going to answer. We'll be using the chat feature for this, so it's good to open that up. And you're going to have 5 options that you can post to the chat. So I'll ask a question like, do you believe in ghosts? Okay, no one needs to answer this yet, don't worry. But that's the question, do you believe in ghosts, yes or no? What you need to do first is predict whether you think in the chat, whether you think everybody, all people will answer yes, whether most of the class will answer yes. You can type split if you think it's going to be a perfectly even split. We've got 14 people here, so 7 yeses, 7 nos. Fewer people will answer yes, or none, no one will answer yes. Those are your 5 options for making a prediction. You're going to privately chat those to me, right? So if you don't know how to do private chat, what you do is just in the lower right corner, so chat's on the bottom menu. In the lower right corner where you're chatting, there's a little blue option to who you can chat with. It's usually everyone. Click on that and you should see my name, Ian Haight, and you just want to chat with me. So let's try it right now. If I ask that question, do you believe in ghosts? How do you predict the class would respond? Go ahead and post your private chats to me right now. Very good, I'm seeing them come in. All right, I'm seeing like most no, fewer yes again. So just remember that if you type most, I'm going to interpret that as being most yes. Don't type most no. If you think it's most no, then what you need to type is fewer, right? So your options are all, most, split, fewer, or none. Those are the 5 things we're going to be looking for. Great. So once we've done this, what I would do then is just ask the question one more time. This time you're actually going to answer it. So do you believe you're ghosts? People who would answer yes, you're going to raise your hand. People who think no, you don't do anything. Okay, so just to test this, do you believe in ghosts? If you answered yes, raise your hand. All right, and we'll just tally it up. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm seeing 4 people. Cool. So that would definitely mean that whoever chose fewer would be the winners. So I'll go through the text and I'll tally up the fewers and give you points. And just, you can see it on the discussion board, but all is worth 2 points, most is worth 1 point, split is worth 3 points, which is the most unlikely, but the most valuable. Fewer is 1 point and none is 2 points. So anyone who chose fewer would have gotten 1 point in that round. Making sense to people? Okay, let's do our first actual competition question. I'm gonna post it in the chat too, just in case you miss out or don't hear. The first question is gonna be, are there enough cats in the world? Are there enough cats in the world? So again, don't answer yet. What you need to do now is just privately chat to me whether you think all of the class will answer yes, most will answer yes, split, fewer will answer yes, or none will answer yes. Just privately chat that to me, please. One of those 5 options. They're at the very top of the chat too, if you're not sure what to post. All, most, split, fewer, or none. All right, looks like most votes are in. So, are there enough cats in the world? If you were to answer yes, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, we're getting 11 people out of our 14. So that means whoever chose most, I'm going to be giving you 1 point. I'll tally up points while you're working on something else. So we'll declare the winner a little bit later. I don't want to waste time while you sit here and watch me try to pick through all the votes. Okay, second question. This one's going to be a little bit more elaborate. If you couldn't be caught, would you illegally transfer $1 million from your bank into your account? So in other words, if you couldn't be caught, would you illegally steal $1 million? Now again, you're not answering yes or no. You're just predicting whether you think the whole class, like all are going to answer yes, most will answer yes, split, fewer, or none. So go ahead and privately send me your Your votes, please. You kids don't have much faith in humanity, man. Come on. Gotta be some people who might have a moral compass. Great. All right, looks like all votes are in. So, would you, if you couldn't be caught, would you illegally transfer $1 million into your account? Raise your hand if you would answer yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. I was wondering if it was going to be all. One of my classes, I'm sure, will be all people. So, all right, yeah. Once again, if anyone chose most, then you're going to be getting 1 point for that. Okay, our final question. We'll just do 3 rounds of this. So this is the last one. Post this to everyone. Question is, do you think anyone here believes the world is flat? Again, you're not answering this question right now. You're just privately chatting your vote to me, whether all will answer yes, most will answer yes, split, fewer, or none. Do you think anyone here believes the world is flat?
The question is, do we believe that someone thinks the world is flat, or are we going to see if someone believes?
Yes. Well, we'll see once we collect the vote. Oh no, actually, I mean, I won't be asking that question directly. Yeah, I think it's just whether you think someone in this class might think the world is flat.
Okay.
It's more common in the human population than you might imagine. All right, votes are coming in. Someone typed a none, please. We'll see. Again, I'm not here to stomp on anyone's beliefs, though. Okay, so let's actually answer this question now. Do you believe, sorry, how's the phrase? Do you think anyone here believes the world is flat? Raise your hand for yes. Oh, Clarence has got one. All right, 1, 2, this 2. All right. 2. So again, if you chose fewer, you'll be getting 1 point for that. All right, I'll tally up the points and announce a winner after I've let you go for another short little activity. So that'll be a little bit later in this lesson, but I don't want to burn time collecting things. So, all right, thanks for participating in that. Kind of fun, kind of silly. We might come back to that again a little bit. Okay, now we need to get a little technical. I'm going to go through really quickly and just do a little bit more course introduction stuff, sort of building on what I did when we first met yesterday. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. So please check out the Canvas Science2 homepage if you have not done so already. As I explained yesterday, I'll always have announcements posted up here at the top. I often use announcements for when our next class meeting is and what homework is due the next day. In the little Bitmoji cartoon, there's my email and my Zoom classroom link on the chalkboard. All of these little things on the bookshelf are links to different things. And if you click on me, there's a little About Me page that I put together that's also linked in Canvas. But just to share a little bit about me. I feel like I have a bit of a unique background, though I know at Stevenson, I've run into a number of people who are sort of third culture kids like me. But my father actually worked for the United Nations. So I was actually born in Africa, in Nairobi, Kenya. And I lived in Africa till I was 10 years old. Lived in Zambia first and then in Zimbabwe. We moved out in 1996. My dad was assigned to Europe. And so I actually went to middle school and high school in Rome, Italy. Went to an American international school, so I don't have an Italian accent. I wish I had an Italian accent, but that didn't pan out. I didn't live in the United States till I went to college, and I've spent every summer of my life in the U.S. My parents are actually both from this area here in California, so I have childhood memories of being here in California just over the summers. But I didn't live in the U.S. till I went to a tiny college called Bowdoin College in Maine. Graduated in 2008, and I joined the Peace Corps. Anyone ever heard of the Peace Corps before? It's a volunteer service overseas for college graduates. Great experience. And I ended up in education. So I worked at a school in a really tiny country in West Africa. It's a country called the Gambia. You can look it up. I taught in a rural village school. I lived in a hut, no running water, no electricity. I did that for 2 years. And then I actually stayed on for a third year. I continued to work for Peace Corps. I helped train new volunteers. Met my wife. She was a fellow volunteer with me over there. And when I came back to the US, I wanted to do education and teaching stuff, but I didn't have a teaching license or anything like that. So I taught at a charter school in Boston as a sort of assistant teacher. I got all my training and stuff done. And then I got hired here at Stevenson back in 2012, and I've been here ever since. I started off teaching biology and chemistry and coach cross country, JV girls basketball. I actually used to live in Barrows. I was the dorm head of Barrows for a little while. Then I was the dorm head in Atwood, and now I'm the dorm head in Wilson TI, which is the freshman boys dorm. And I'm currently working on a master's through Washington University in St. Louis. It's sort of a online summer intensive course. Almost done with that, and it's been a pretty good experience. Hoping to use some of that in my teaching. So, and all my contact information is below there as well. It's also on the Canvas homepage. So, but happy to chat about any of my background stuff. I'm pretty passionate about marine biology. Did a lot of work with that as well. So below that is our course goals. There's more links to, again, there's the About Me, Academic Integrity, which I'll touch on in a little bit. What I want to draw your attention to is the third from the bottom link, which is, I titled it Course Expectations and Policies. But if you click on that, it actually takes you to what I call the course description. And I'm going to, as part of your homework, you're going to look through this tonight. But just, it's a list of the materials that I showed you when we met yesterday, a short introduction to what we're going to be doing in Science 2. Again, we're starting with the universe, zooming back into Earth, and then we'll talk about climate change. We'll dive into some chemistry, looking at the health of the oceans. So we'll have a very kind of environmental themed course, but we'll tie a lot of different stuff in. For digital classroom expectations, I know you guys have that little contract or something that you're signing as well through Stevenson, but it's good to be sitting in a chair, being ready and attentive. Please have your camera on whenever possible. I know there's some connection issues with that sometimes. But read through that and just make sure that I will always be present and ready, and I expect students to do the same. If you're curious about how grading is going to work in this course, the distribution is a little different. We kind of lowered the value of assessments, so tests and quizzes are going to be worth 25%. It's the same value as homework, so homework and classwork are also 25%. It's labs, projects, and activities that are going to be the valuable stuff this year, 40% of the grade. And then participation's 10%. And what that's going to look like from my end is just making sure you're showing up to class on time. And I'm going to have a lot of discussion boards and other opportunities where everyone gets to sort of chime in. And as long as you're posting and doing that sort of thing, you should be fine there. It'll be pretty clear about how that's graded. When the semester ends, I'm going to take your grade as it currently stands, and I'm going to value that at 85%. And the final exam that we take will make up the last 15% of that. And I'll talk more about that in January when that approaches. But all that's laid out there. And then after that, it's just some more expectation stuff. Please check out Canvas for online resources. Keep your computer organized. Everyone has their own system, but the more organized you can be with documents and folders, the better. And so I encourage you to create a Science 2 folder on your computer to keep different things in that you download. And then there's the academic integrity from both the whole school and also science department specific policies. Part of your homework will be to read over those tonight. But know that most of the assignments and assessments I will do will be open notes, similar to how you did it in PSI last year if you took that. And I try my best to not motivate students to cheat. If you're feeling like you're desperate enough to do that, please come check in with me. I'm more than willing to help and give leniency and push assignments back if you're not feeling ready. Don't put yourself under so much pressure that you're driven to be dishonest in some way. I can help you through a lot of that stuff. Any questions on course description? All right, last thing I'll show you, back on that home page, the link below the course expectations and policies is what's called a course map. What this really is a calendar. I think I'm going to rewrite these link titles, but if you click on that, it takes you to a calendar of the entire fall semester. And it's sort of what I'm hoping to do in each lesson. I don't think we're going to follow this 100%, but I'll do my best to stick to it as much as I can. Our first unit you can see is going to be the Big Bang and galaxy formation. And we're actually going to conclude this unit with a research project where you're going to be learning about some aspect of astronomy and presenting that to the class. We won't have our first test actually until early October because we got to get through those presentations first. Then we'll dive into a unit on earth science and mountain formation, earthquakes, that kind of thing. We'll have our second test after about 5 or 6 lessons into that. We'll then get into the atmosphere and weather, which is kind of a fun one. Learn about precipitation, gas laws, that kind of thing. Have a test on that probably after about 5 or 6 lessons. Then we'll do climate change and global warming. You'll actually kind of do a little carbon footprint calculation on your own, and we'll talk about how each of you can try to reduce your contribution to environmental impacts. And then we'll dive into the human body with some circulation respiration, and that'll wrap up the fall semester. Final exam will be right at the end of January, and if all things go well, you will hopefully be on campus to take those exams, but we'll see what happens when January comes. Any questions on the calendar or the units we're going to be covering? All right, I encourage you to check those out on your own as well. There's links to all that on Canvas. All right, then the next activity I wanted to work through was sort of another little share activity, but it's something you're gonna need to work on building right now. We'll share it in future lessons. It's what's called a Google Slide collage. I'll show you what I mean by that. What each of you is gonna be making is something like this. It's essentially a Google Slide with a variety of images inserted into it. And what I'd like you to do is just make a collage to represent three things. Your summer, so what's something that happened over the summer, something you did. Your home, so some aspect of, if you've got pets at home or something like that. And your area of interest in science. And so looking at mine, you'll choose some sort of stock image to represent you. That's me in the middle there in the suit. The reason I'm holding a baby is because my wife and I had a baby this summer on June 30th. We had our second daughter. So most of my summer was diapers and pacifiers and taking care of a young one. I have an older daughter who's 2.5. I took her on a lot of bike rides. That's why I have the bike is there with a little bike seat on it. We biked a lot in Carmel Valley. Got to see a lot of cows. My daughter loved seeing cows, so that was kind of the big thing we did. Michael Jordan's on the wall behind me because I watched a couple documentaries over the summer, one of which was The Last Dance, which is a pretty cool ESPN documentary about the Chicago Bulls in the 90s. And my area of interest in science is marine biology. And so that's why I've got those two images there. Did a lot of work on it in college. I've got my open water diver's license. So passionate about that stuff. And you'll see right below, I typed sort of a short description of why I included the images I did. I have a pet cat at home, orange tabby as well. That's why that cat's at my feet. And so that's what you need to construct. And to do that, I encourage you to navigate back to that Unit 1, Lesson 1 tasks to complete. We are now on step 4, right there, Google Slide collage activity. All the instructions are right here. So you will make a Google Slide collage to represent, again, 1, your home, 2, your summer, and 3, area of interest in science. Again, it's all on one slide. Instructions on how to do this are right here. If you just click on that link, Google Slide collage activity instructions, it'll take you to a Google Doc that looks like this. There's a link to my example slide. There's a link to a video that I made of me walking you through how to do this. And I also have written instructions on how to do this. I know it looks intimidating with 25 steps, but it's very detailed. Just click here, click there. So you can watch the video or read the instructions to do this, whatever you want to do. I'm going to let you go for, let's do 15 minutes for now, and we'll see where we are at the end of that time. I'll be here listening. If you have questions about how any of this works, or if you're having trouble getting it started, just let me know. I'll be listening the whole time. But otherwise, take 15 minutes to work on that step number 4 in the tasks list. Build your Google Slide collage. Go for it. How was that? Were most people able to find the images that they wanted to find? I started to kind of download and organize some of them. I was seeing some very creative creations. Does anyone right now feel brave enough to share? Are you feeling complete enough to volunteer to share real quick? Sloan?
Yeah.
Okay. Here, I'll share my screen and I'll pull yours up here real fast. So Sloan, just walk us through the images you chose and yeah, tell us about your summer, your home, everything else. All right, so let me share my screen here. All right, here we go. Here's Sloan.
Okay.
Go for it.
So I'm in my house, I guess. And then the topic of science I like the most is psychology and things that go on in the brain. So I have a picture of the brain. I got a new dog, so I put a picture of my new dog. Over the summer I was working on a project and I was cleaning out a pool at my friend's house. So there's a picture of dirty water, I guess. I don't know. I went to the beach a lot. I got new shoes, so I inserted a picture of my new shoes. I dyed my hair. went to San Francisco a lot, hung out with friends, and I broke up with my boyfriend, and that's it.
All right. Well, sorry to hear about the breakup, but what kind of dog is that?
I think it's like a black lab mixed with a German Shepherd, and
Wow. Energetic, I assume.
yeah.
Nice. And what kind of shoes did you get?
I got Jordan 1s and Yeezys.
Nice. And what color was the hair dye? Or were you just bleaching it?
I bleached. This stuff is not good.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for sharing. Anyone else feel like volunteering next? Thanks, Sloan. Thomas, I'm seeing you. All right. Just give me 1 minute, Thomas, to pull up yours. Got it. All right, here is Thomas's. Sorry, it's taking a second to load here. Go for it, bud.
All right, so been binge watching a lot of shows. A new show that I picked up was like The Walking Dead.
Nice.
Picked it up yesterday. Picked up going surfing. Been surfing a lot. It's like a new hobby of mine. I like it. It's kind of fun to get out there and away from the house. I've been playing with my dogs. I have 2 dogs, and there's only one there. And also, I've been watching lots of basketball. It's the playoffs, and I have also been playing some.
Nice. Do you have a type of surfboard that you prefer? Like, how many fins do you put on and stuff?
I like using like the gunner boards for the like small waves. I don't know. I just like going kind of fast.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, good maneuvering.
Yeah.
What are the 2 kinds of dogs you have?
I have a Chesapeake Bay Retriever and a German Shepherd.
Nice. Also very energetic. So you said you started The Walking Dead. Is there a show you finished at all over the summer?
Yeah, the Avatar.
Oh, nice. All right.
Last Airbender.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's one of the shows that people often say kind of like introduced America to anime, you know, that and Cowboy Bebop. So pretty good. All right, in the interest of time, I'm going to stop there. But we will now, at the start of each class for the next week or so, I'll probably have about 4 of you or so just share your slides really quickly. So as homework, make sure to finish those. Joseph, you got a question?
Yeah, so I'm wondering, do you want us to submit it as somewhere, or is it just okay if we shared with you? That's it.
Yep, as long as you shared it with me, that's all I got to do. Yep, and just make sure that you complete the image, but also remember to type a little description below in the teacher notes box, just to give a little written description as well for anyone who is asynchronous or something, or might miss class in the future so they don't get to see yours. My goal is to collect these somewhere, probably on Canvas, where you can all check each other's out eventually. So great. Okay, last thing to touch on then is just homework. It's listed on the very bottom of the tasks to complete for today. You'll see on the very bottom, I say homework due Monday, 9/14. Please complete the Google slide collage and written description. As Joseph pointed out, there's nothing you need to submit there. As long as you've shared it with me, I'll give you a grade for that. It's just 5 points. Please take some time to read the course description and the fall calendar, even if you just glance through them. There's good information there. Let me know if you have any questions. You do have a reading assignment. It's from Bill Bryson, A Short History of Nearly Everything. I'd like you just to read the first chapter of this. It's 10 pages of reading. If you don't have it's 9 pages of reading. If you don't have a copy, don't panic. As you can see in the homework description, the last sentence says, if you do not have a copy of Bryson, here's a digital scan of the relevant pages. If you click on that, it'll take you to a scan of those 9 pages that you need to read. There's also a link to it on the actual assignment, which is right there, Bryson Chapter 1 Reading Reflection. If you click on that link right there, it takes you to a Canvas quiz. You can obviously complete this with the book open. There's no time limit or anything like that. You just have, I think it's about 4 or 5 questions to answer based on the reading. Some are multiple choice, some are free response. And this will just be graded as a homework assignment. Any questions on that, what you need to complete before our next class? All right, as always, you can post questions to the discussion board or feel free to email me too if you're not sure about something. Otherwise, that is all I had for you today. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.